Brian.
Oh, I was talking to Brian, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I was telling Brian, we were sitting down and I was telling him, I said, if something happens to me, Brian, you're going to have to deal with this and this and this and this. And he looked at me and he goes, this is what he said. He goes, I would need God. That's what he said. He goes, I would need God. And I said, Brian, I want to tell you something. I said, but God is the person that does it. And we look at somebody else and think, I don't know, we could look at somebody and say, I could never do that. You could with God working through you. Whatever God has asked of you, God will do it through you. He's not asking you to go do it alone, He's saying, if you'll do this, I will be with you. That's what he told Moses. Moses, go, and I will be with you. And listen, Moses had no idea what God being with him would look like of his life. That Moses, in the end, would be probably one of the 5 most powerful people that ever lived for God. He didn't know any of that. You see, God doesn't dangle in front of you what's going to happen through your life. He tells you, follow me, and then you find out what God has planned for your life, right? But I'm telling you, there is no journey. You know why we're all preoccupied? I mean, I'm not. That I'm 57 now, but our culture is preoccupied with superheroes. You know why? Because you were not meant to live a mundane, boring life. There's something in us. It's the very nature of God that craves something supernatural in your life because you are eternal. You're an eternal person. And the reason we try to, as T.D. Jakes said, sex it up, drug it up, drink it up, whatever, is because there's something in you that only God can satisfy and God can excite over and over and over. And if you're really walking close to the Lord, you're never burned out and you're never bored and you're never just not excited. At least I'm not. I've always got something going on in my spirit I'm excited about, So anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to add a question? Andrew?
So taking up the cross, is that how you, because you said that it's determined by who values the promises the most and who wants them and goes after them.
Yes.
So taking up the cross will make you value the promises.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we can't make our heart be like that. I remember when I was young and feeling way more passionate,
Yeah.
And now sometimes it's like I'm still doing it, but you feel like you're making yourself do stuff you don't want to do.
Well, I think there's definite places like that, but I want to say something that sounds really religious. It does. It just sounds religious, but it's been my life. Is being consistent to the Word, and I know you know these things, but the Word, prayer, but even being consistent to the house of God. Let me explain myself. So Tuesday night, Pastor John was scheduled last Tuesday night, and he got sick, so I took it. So Pastor John he took prayer this last Tuesday night, and I was going to stay home. And I was going to stay home because I really felt like Cindy needed me to stay home, and we needed to talk, and there was just some stuff. But then I decided, and I called her and I said, Cindy, I pictured Pastor John having to take prayer requests. My wife said something to Victor, and Victor was saying it publicly, what Cindy had said to him, and it just really rolled all over me. And Cindy had told him,